awesome. That was really awesome. She's right there with a bun in her hair. She's going all the way over to the other side. She's right over here.
She got a bun in her hair?
She's right there. Oh, she's right here again. She don't see me. Oh, sorry. So she is first chair.
She's not paying attention. I can get her attention. She looks enthused.
There we go.
The group you see before you is our red band, and we'll get to them in just a moment. But I would like to introduce the camp director at Camp Timbers, Mr. Brian Miller. And again, thank him for all the hard work that he does and his staff does to make this camp such a success. So this is Mr. Miller.
Families, welcome. We had a busy week at camp, a lot of growth, a lot of great campers. First of all, thank you for choosing to send them to Camp Timbers, to the band camp program. I'm a camper parent. I know it takes a lot of trust and faith to send your kid off somewhere else, especially for the first time for some of our campers. It's an honor to be a home away from home for some of these kids, or the first time away from home for some of them too. So I just want to start by saying thank you to them. Red, white, and blue bands, nice job. This is going phenomenally well. So make a big round of applause. You guys worked so hard this week. But another huge thank you to the music staff, phenomenal educators this week, a huge amount of passion, and I just think it's a great program. It's a great team. Thank you to the band staff and then our Camp Timbers camp team. We're 2 weeks in for the summer, and they're working hard and they're making a big impact on kids and a lot of fun too. So thank you to the whole collective staff team that pulls this off. You made a big impact this week, so thank you for that. start the week talking about 3 goals at camp, and these are helpful things to think about when you're like, what's camp, right? Like, what's band camp? What do you get out of it? Things like that. Huge amount of musical improvement. We talk about any red band kids, my friends. All right. We talk about experience, connect, grow a little bit. So we hope that at the end of this, when you're riding home or when they wake up after they sleep on the ride home, that you hear great experiences, right? They tried new things, they had adventures, they just had a remarkable camp experience. That's our first goal. Raise your hand if you think you had a great experience at camp this week. And some, good. Good. Second is connect. So we want to have a great experience. We also want you to connect with other people, face to face, without screens, to make new friends from other schools all over the state, to make connections with our role models, our staff, who we really identify as being role models this week. How many people made a new friend at some point this week? Made a new connection with someone? All right, we are 2 for 2 with most of these. And the last one is grow. So we hope if all that stuff happens, that camp's a place you can grow. And that's up to these individuals. I know musically they did because it sounded a lot better Friday than it did Monday. But I also know that they're sitting a little taller. Some of these kids reached the top of the climbing tower. Some tried new things. Like, there's so many ways they grew, and I hope you get to see that when you talk to them. And the last thing I want to point out, with our red band, I'm curious how many of you have been blue, white, and red. Could you stand up if you've been in all colors of band now in band camp? Okay. So, to be fair, we would have a lot more, but we obviously just did a couple years back. But excited to see our blue band hopefully turn into the white band, and the white band turn into the red band. Red band, often I get asked, like, what can we turn into? Because red band's our most advanced band here. And the answer is, if you've talked to a lot of our staff, a ton of our staff are musicians and former band camp participants. So hopefully we'll see many of you in a few years, but instead of writing abstracts, we'll have staff on the back of them. And hopefully camp can be a place to come back to if it's become a home. So thank you again for helping us out. One last public service, update reminder. You should all have a picture of your camper, right? That's your ticket to pick them up. So just make sure whoever is going to get the camper at the luggage has that card. Your camper's name's on the back. Our staff are just going to be looking at to make sure we're sending the right kid with the right family and everything's all set that way. So save some time. Make sure the person going to get the camper has that photo as the ticket to make everything finish up. So thank you all, Red Band. Have fun with your concert piece. Excited to hear what you do.
And now, I have a question though for the Red Band. How many of you have been here for at least 2 years? Yeah, that's what we like to see right there. Awesome.
Where's been there 2 years?
Okay, this is our Red Band. As Brian said, it's our most advanced band, and it is under the direction of Heidi Schlosser, recently retired from Bay City Western, and Joanne Gross, the band director at Morley Stanwood Public Schools. I think you're in for a treat. I had a chance to listen to all 3 bands rehearse a number of times. And again, the growth that they've made this week is fantastic. So enjoy the rest of the concert, and I'll be back and talk to you at the end.
thank you guys very much for sharing your students with us this week. Mrs. Rose and I had a fantastic time working with this band. They were outstanding. It was so fun. And the next, we're like so excited about performing for you today that we're kind of without words. So we just had a really good time working with them. They were great. They were responsive. They worked really, really hard, and they improved tremendously throughout the week. So it was super fun to work with them, and we thank you for sharing them with us. I wanted to mention before we play our next piece of music, Toccata and Chorale is kind of a special piece for me, and it is probably, I think, a little special for this camp as well. When I started as a camper at Delta College back in 7th grade, long time ago when dinosaurs roamed the earth, there was a director there who also worked at Western Intermediate at the time, and his name was Phil Wendell. Mr. Wendell was my middle school band director, and he encouraged me to go to Herder Band Camp, where I met tons of kids and totally fell in love with Herder Band Camp, and I have been. I went to camp for a couple of summers, and then I went off to school and became a music teacher, and then after my first year of teaching, I came back and started working again, and I've been here, I think this is my 25th year working as band director at Camp Timbers, so I am extremely excited about the Herder Band Camp, and it's absolutely fabulous to be working at Camp Timbers as well. I love the staff and everything about it, but that doesn't really explain why Mr. Wendell and the piece is special. So Mr. Wendell actually passed away in November of 2019. And in order to honor his memory and what he meant to me as a band teacher and what he meant to me for music in general, we as a Western Bands commissioned a piece of music to be written in his memory. And so Toccata and Chorale was written in 2019 to honor the memory and the joy and the excitement that he made every one of us feel about music, was written to memorialize all of that, and was premiered in May of 2019. So we are going to play it again today, and you can probably, if you listen very closely, you'll hear his jovial, upbeat, happy personality in the beginning, and then there's kind of a beautiful chorale in the middle, and then both of those things kind of combined at the end. So very special piece to us at Western, and also to me personally because of what it means and how much Mr. Wendell meant to me, and also to this camp. He was one of the very first directors. So.
I just want to say thank you, so I'm not the only one that didn't say anything. That lady didn't even say anything. She usually makes me do the talking. She did really well, didn't she? Yes. Just a little side note, in your program, we are actually going in that order. So Toccata and Chorale is next, and then we'll close with How to Train Your Dragon. So just a huge thank you. These kids, this group, this particular ensemble, I'm going to put that in my top 5 of all the groups, and I don't know how long I've been coming, 12, 13 years. But we've been partnered for a while, and these are really great kids. So nice job parenting. So enjoy Toccata and Chorale.
some of the housekeeping duties. If we could have the audience please stay seated until we get all of our students out of the auditorium and met up with their sectional people and get them headed down to the luggage. A reminder that when you come to pick up your student, you must have the card that has the photo in order to pick up your student. We have a lot of rules we have to follow to make sure we get the right kids in the right place, even if though sometimes they'd like to go home with another one of their friends' parents. But anyway, okay, red band. Let's move you into the band.